Netflix is out. Paramount Skydance is in when it comes to the purchase of Warner Brothers Discovery. And if this goes through, this will be the biggest media move made in at least decades, perhaps most of our lifetimes, and perhaps ever when it comes to reshaping the landscape of legacy media. And mostly because of the timing. It's not that this is just a huge deal. It is huge. That's important. But the timing is extremely relevant considering the direction of media in general, not just legacy media, but with the rise of streaming, the rise of user-generated content, podcasts, of course, and then the whole AI thing. This is the big one, okay? This is it. Yeah, Netflix is going to take control. They seem to be in the driver's seat. But then Paramount and David Ellison, the CEO, they didn't let it go. They kept pushing, trying to get a hostile takeover going, trying to get a lot of things going to make it happen. They really wanted this. They wanted it badly. Netflix didn't want it badly enough. They have just walked away. We've got an article over at economiccollapse.report. Paramount Skydance wins the battle for Warner Brothers Discovery as David Ellison remakes the media landscape. You can read the whole article yourself, but I'm going to go through some of the highlights, and you'll notice that in the image we picked, there's a nice picture of President Trump giving the thumbs up. That may not be the case, okay? I'll talk about that here in a second. I mean, would he prefer David Ellison and Paramount over Netflix? You betcha. But there's a lot of implications here. We'll dive into it in this episode of the Economic Collapse Report. Warner Brothers Discovery's board declared Paramount Skydance's revised $31 per share all-cash bid a, quote, superior proposal over Netflix's existing merger agreement, triggering a match window that Netflix ultimately declined. Netflix opened the doors. They gave them 7 days. They said, look, we already have the agreement ready to go. We've got the pathway to get it through the government watchdogs. We're going to get this approved, and then we're going to do it at $27.75 per share. Paramount decided that they wanted to go and attempt a hostile takeover. They wanted whatever they could to muddy the waters. And Netflix, to their credit, I hate giving them any credit, but to their credit, they're like, look, this is going to get ugly. We'll give you 7 days to a 7-day window to negotiate with the board, with shareholders, and then we'll see which one they pick. Now, the board over at Warner Brothers, they still want Netflix, but they gave Netflix 4 days to basically match after stating that Paramount had put out the superior offer and Netflix walked away. So it looks like, at least as of now, there's still a few hoops to go through, but as of now, Paramount is definitely in the driver's seat. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos and Greg Peters stated that the deal was no longer financially attractive at the price required to match Paramount's Skydance offer. Keep in mind, the original offer back in September was, I believe it was either $17 or $19. So this bid has gone up tremendously, almost doubled, now at $31 per share. Paramount Skydance, led by David Ellison, son of Trump ally and Oracle co-founder Larry Ellison, sweetened its offer multiple times, ultimately raising the bid 63% from its original September proposal to secure the deal. A combined Paramount-WBD entity would merge HBO Max with Paramount Plus, unite Warner Brothers and Paramount Skydance Studios, and place both CNN and CBS News under a single ownership structure. And this is where, when I say that we got Trump cheering, yes, this is the better scenario that he wanted, but he's been very critical. Very, very critical of CBS News, in particular 60 Minutes, stating very recently that 60 Minutes, ever since being acquired, ever since CBS News was acquired by Paramount, and ever since Barry Weiss took over as the head of CBS News, Trump says it's gotten worse. Now, I disagree. It hasn't gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better as fast as I think a lot of us expected, especially, those who hated the move, who hate Barry Weiss, who thought, oh my gosh, it's going to become a right-wing utopia now. It didn't. And to be clear, Barry Weiss is not, she's not a right-winger, okay? She has certain libertarian stances, but I mean, she's not. She's not conservative by any means. So I'm not saying that she's worse than her predecessors or that she's bad relative to any of the other heads of any of the other studios out there. She's great, but that bar is pretty low to achieve considering how awful legacy media is. She's to the left of Fox News, and Fox News is not exactly staunch conservative. So yeah, so CBS marginally better. I disagree with the president that they've gotten worse since she took over. They have not. They have, and this is one of the reasons that they keep losing people, right? So, but now what's going to happen to CNN? CNN is, of course, far left. They love them some Democrat policies. They love to defend Joe Biden. So many of them over there embarrass themselves by talking about how with it and aware Joe Biden was, and now obviously reversing and claiming, oh my gosh, Joe Biden was bad, we didn't notice, but now President Trump, he's definitely got dementia or whatever. Will that change under David Ellison? I think for sure it will. Now keep in mind, even we know that Larry Ellison, former Oracle founder, and very, very, very deeply embedded into the artificial intelligence world, that he is an ally of President Trump. David Ellison has demonstrated a willingness to also be an ally, but he's very young. I think he's at 40 something. Okay, he's more of an entertainment guy, and I'm okay with that. Okay, like I would want, but I don't expect whoever takes over any of these media places to be like all worshiping Pat Buchanan or Reagan or even Trump. I want, just do the news, man. Just do the news. Put out good entertainment. Okay. And to be clear, David Ellison was one of the guys behind Top Gun Maverick. Yeah. If you like that. Yeah. I mean, he was involved with that. He's involved with a lot of the unwoke productions out there. So that's the best that we can expect. So we'll see. Is this going to work out? There are still some hurdles to go through. WBD shareholders emerged as the clear financial winners. So Warner Brothers, if you own Warner Brothers stock, your stock has surged 78% throughout this bidding war. Paramount and Netflix shares have fallen 36 and 30%, which is normal, when you're talking about spending, anywhere between 82 billion all the way up to over $100 billion as a company. Yeah, your shares are going to go down. Well, when it's being discussed that you're about to get bought for tens or even over $100 billion, yeah, shares are going to go up. Should have bought Warner Brothers about 8 months ago. The deal includes a $7 billion regulatory termination fee. That's just a breakup fee. Okay, if anything happens, if antitrust laws stop the deal from going through, then Paramount's going to have to pay Warner Brothers and their shareholders $7 billion. They also said they will absorb the $2.8 billion that now has to be paid to Netflix, since their bid had been accepted and now it has been unaccepted. Political undertones were prominent throughout the process. David Ellison attended Trump's State of the Union as a guest of Senator Lindsey Graham. Oh, more on that here in a second. With Netflix, Ted Sarandos was seen arriving at the White House on the same day Netflix declined to match the bid. The deal still faces a WBD shareholder vote scheduled for March 20th, and that's almost certainly going to go through. And significant regulatory review before it can be finalized, and that will very likely, over a 50% chance that it will pass muster there. Mostly because there's not very many options here, okay? Like, it's a fair offer. It's not a monopoly. There's still plenty of other media out there. Yeah, these are 2 of the top 5, but it's not like, merging of 3 of the top 3. This should work, okay? All things being equal, this should work. Now you might say, oh, this is a huge win for Trump, huge win for conservatives, huge win for MAGA, huge win for America. I would say it's a decent win for Trump. Okay, we can assume that CNN is going to going to be at least semi-watchable in the future. Whether that takes 6 months or a year or 2 years, it's not going to continue to be the radical leftist propaganda garbage that it's been ever since. For, well, really since at least 15 years, maybe longer. You could trace it all the way back to the Bush days when you really started seeing them push away from being, unbiased or at least semi-unbiased to actually being full-blown oh, we hate George W. Bush. We love Bill Clinton. We miss Bill. We hate George. They love Obama. Oh, they loved Obama a lot. Hated Trump. Loved Biden. Defended Biden. Protected Biden. Loved Kamala Harris. Those little bits and pieces should tell you exactly where they stand, and that's not going to continue under David Ellison, under Paramount. I don't expect them to go right wing. Okay, I still expect them to be to the left of Fox News, and Fox News, again, is not the conservative bastion that I think a lot of Republicans feel that it is. Is it better than the others in legacy media? Sure, but again, that's not saying much. But here's the challenge, the concern that this brings, and I've had alarm bells going off about Larry Ellison and his push for AI domination. I've had alarm bells about David Ellison, his son, CEO of Paramount Skydance, who has expressed globalist tendencies. So where's the money coming from? The money, we're talking over $100 billion. It's not like he can just stroke a check. It's a lot of money, and they're getting backing from, you guessed it, and if you've seen certain movies from the 70s and 80s, you'll know why this is important. A lot of the money is coming from Saudi Arabia. And where is some of the other money coming from? Jared Kushner. Jared Kushner has put together a supporting funds to help make this happen. And for those who don't know, Kushner, who's President Trump's son-in-law, also has extreme globalist leanings. You could say all the good things you want about him, and a lot of people do, but the negatives, to me, completely outweigh the positives. And it's funny that Ellison was at the event as a guest of Lindsey Graham, who is the neocon's neocon, the warmonger of them all, the military-industrial complex's favorite senator. Yeah, that Lindsey Graham. So, again, wow, this is great relative, compared to Netflix. I'll take Paramount over Netflix literally every day of the year. There is no world in which I would want Netflix to gain even more power, more studio share, more market share, more eyeballs, because they are a extraordinarily woke company. Perhaps the wokest in major media, and that's including comparing themselves to companies like Disney. Okay, they're bad, and they've demonstrated a willingness to do whatever it takes to spread cultural Marxism, doing whatever they can to promote a globalist agenda, a left-leaning world. So yeah, great that they're out. But don't think, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever to have David Ellison in charge. It's not. It's good. We'll take it. We'll take everyone we can get. But I know I can hear people saying, oh, Trump's going to have control CNN now. That's not going to happen. And nor should it, to be clear. We can complain all we want about how legacy media is controlled by the left. Would it be better to have it controlled by the right? Not to me. As far as I'm concerned, make the news, okay, CNN, Fox News, I don't care. Legacy media itself should, what? Oh, report the news. Just tell us what's happening. Don't tell us what to think. Tell us the facts and let us think for ourselves.